Good evening, everybody. Can you guys hear me okay? The class data. Basically, these are the core components over here. Um, you need a bunch of hardware like laptops, desktops, servers, and software. The software could be the firmware, it could be an operating system that you run on your machine. It could be the programs that we use, like Zoom, like Google Meet, like ChatGPT, like Microsoft Word, Excel, whatever you use, that's also under the IT flag. And the networks to deliver the information from one end to another end. The fact that I have students from different states, even within state, I'm in my home, you are in your homes, you are located in different states and geographically in different locations. Thanks to technology, that part that connects all of us together is the network part. And the data is basically the information, this live view of my video, this live view of my slides is the data being sent from my system to your systems, right? So these are some core components of IT that makes IT, that enables information technology. And this is a broad term again. Then under the hardware, if you look at the hardware umbrella, under the hardware, we have computers, servers, networking devices, and data storage devices. And then we further looked into each one of these categories. We started off with the basics of networking. If you go back, now I am exploring different elements, different components of information technology. And if I go into the basic networking, what I will find is that in order for a in order for you to create a basic network, in order for you to network two or more systems, computers, basically, you need devices such as your computer, your laptop. You also need some networking devices like switch, router, and firewalls. That this could be a hardware phenomena as well. Switch, so the basic networking device is switch. Its job is to connect devices within a network. Router, its job is to connect these switches to different networks. It's going to be a little bit fast paced for you guys, those who are joining just now, because we covered these concepts, and I have already shared the YouTube video with you. I just want to be fair with my students who are here on Saturday and Sunday. This should not be boring lesson for them. Then we further looked into the basics of networking. We, as I said previously, there are some devices like your computer, your laptop, your handheld devices, and then we have a switch, which is on the network. We have a router, which is also on the network. We have a firewall, which is also part of a network. And then we said that network has different types. It could be a LAN, which is local area network. It could be a WAN, which is wide area network. And local area network basically means within the same building on a particular floor. And the wide area network is when we get connected to people outside of our building, outside of our state, city, state, and internationally, geographically to different areas of the world. And we also said that every device on the network, for example, laptop, desktop, they have a network card. Also, your handheld devices, all of them come with a network adapter, network card, NIC, network interface card, network adapter. And that network card has an IP address, which is a unique IP address. So this is how a network is formed. And then we looked into the network adapter, which looks like this on a PC or a server. And then we also looked at a unique IP address, which is assigned to every network adapter. I'm not saying that every machine, desktop, or a server gets this unique IP address. I will talk about the IP address later on down the road. I will explain you how the IP addressing work. So we'll talk about LAN, which is in your home or in your building, WAN, which is geographically located far distance networks that connect us. And then I broke down this network over here. There are two networks over here. There's a node A. Remember what I said in my previous lectures. Every device that is on the network and has an IP address will be called node. It could be your laptop, your desktop, your server. It could be your phone. We will call them a node for simplicity's sake. Otherwise, we have to specify. When I say node, a node, I mean any device that has an IP address on the network. Otherwise, I have to be specific: a server, desktop, mobile phone. I don't want to be specific. I just want to refer to the device as a node because it has an IP address. Now, I said that you have multiple nodes right over here. A, B, C, D, they all have network card and they're all getting an IP address, which is a logical address. And remember, I told you that every phone has a logical address, which means that you have a phone number. That's your logical address for your cell phone device. Also, I mentioned that every United States citizen has a social security. That is also your logical address system. For the United States government, you are a social security. They look at you as associated with social security. If you are in Pakistan, in India, maybe you have a national ID number. Okay, so this is to identify each person, each device in a network. So each one of these nodes essentially gets connected to a switch. Then this is a network. We have formed a network. Now, if we want this network, imagine I have 4 or 5 computers in one room, and I want them to be able to communicate with each other. When I say communication, I mean, okay, there's a computer A, there's a computer B. I want this computer to be able to send a message to this computer. I want this computer to be able to send a message to this computer. For that, I would need a switch in between in order for these devices to connect. You cannot take 2 computers and connect them directly to each other. You cannot do that. That networking exists, but this is the normal way of doing things, okay, over the LAN. So you need a switch. If you now want this computer to communicate with this computer, you would require a router on the network. So machines, nodes, computers, laptops, desktops, servers, they connect to the switch. Switches then connect to a router. Now, the router's job is to connect this network with this network. What is the similarity between these two networks? They both have a switch. They both have certain number of nodes. It could be any number of nodes. And in order for them to talk to each other, they have a router. So router routes packets between different networks. Router's job is to route packets, send information between 2 different networks. If you are on a same network, if you are on network A and you want to talk to your machines or your nodes on the same network, do you need a router? No. What do you need? You just need a switch. This is something we talked about and we elaborated on this. Okay, another picture over here: network A, network B, network C, network D, and network E, and they all are, connected. They're all connected to the switch. The switch is connected to the router. Router takes you out into the internet side. Okay. Maybe these are nodes, not networks. My apologies. These are nodes. These are nodes. These are not networks, because if they were network, then we would have a switch over here. In order for you to form a network, you need a switch. In order for you to connect to networks, you need a router, which is right over here. So just another picture. This slide was just to talk about how when you walk into a Fortune 500 company's data center, and I specifically talked about the data center in this definition, which is basically when you work for a large enterprise, Fortune 100 or 500 company, they like to put all of their computing resources like their servers, their switches, their routers into a special room. That special room is called data center. And that data center usually have a very cold temperature because these systems run 24 by 7. 24 by 7 means 24 hours, 7 days by 365 uh, all around the year. So therefore, in order to cool them down, you need to put the temperature down. And the way usually it works is how these networks are formed. You see there is a server A, server B, server C, server D, server E, server F. All of these are running a cable from the backside and going into a particular port into the switch. Any port on the switch, you can connect to right over here. You can connect right over here. You can connect right over here. You can connect right over here. So on the back side of the rack, the networking cables are going into the switch. And then there's one cable which is running from the switch into your router. And then the router has a cable that's coming from the ISP, Internet Service Provider. Okay, so Internet Service Provider is a company like AT&T, Comcast. I don't know internationally what telecommunication companies are. They provide internet. They usually run the cable to your building, and they give you a connection over there. Then you have your router. Then you have your switch over there, and that's how you connect servers. And these servers are in thousands of numbers in a data center. Data center is not a small, tiny room. It's usually a big room with a lots of servers. You have a lot of switches and routers. Okay. All right. So let's continue. Again, I'm just going a little faster because I have covered these topics. Now, talk about network configuration. Every node, meaning every machine, every server, every laptop, every desktop that's communicating on the network, including your machine that you're using right now, it needs a network configuration, which basically means in the operating system somewhere, you have specified the IP address to a network card. Okay. And you have also specified a subnet mask. And you've also specified the default gateway, which basically means the address of the very router that brings the packets into your network and also take the packets outside of your network. I'm going to talk about this down the road later on. This is networking. And for now, you just need to understand that every device on the network needs to have an IP address. It also needs to have a subnet mask. Subnet mask, IP address is the unique number for your machine, for your network card in that machine. Subnet mask basically defines the network portion of that IP address, and the host portion, I know you didn't get it. Absolutely no problem. I'm going to drill deeper into this. Gateway is the address. I'm going to talk about these things down the road. For now, just throw it in your brain somewhere that there is something called IP address, there is something called subnet mask, there is something called default gateway. And if you are missing one of this information on your machine cannot communicate with other machine on the network. And I'm going to show you how to find this information on your machine. Okay. And right over here, I added another slide where we talk about different types of IP addresses. Irrelevant information for us to know right now. We're going to come back to this later when we have more understanding, clear definitions of how these machines communicate with each other. Then we will look into this slide down the road. And then I will also explain you the private IP ranges. So usually when you are at home or when you are working at a company, you're usually getting a private IP address. All right. And it could start with this, it could start with this, it could start with this. And this private IP address versus the public IP address, we're going to talk about this down the road. This basically means when you're at home, your machine is getting an IP address which is only valid for your own network. When it needs to go outside, it will use a public IP address. I know you didn't get it, no big deal. We're going to come back to this topic later on. For now, basic ideas. What is an IP address? IP address is a logical address for any device on the network. For example, my laptop right now that I'm using has a logical address. It's an IP address. And then along with the IP address, I need the subnet mask and default gateway. We will explore these things as I show you on your machine and on our server. What do they mean? Okay. Okay. Yes, meanwhile, if you guys have questions, you have panelists over there, you can ask them questions. They are very qualified. Some of them have more certifications. I don't have any certification, but these guys have Red Hat certifications, and they're very talented and amazing people, mashallah. We're blessed to have them. All right, let me see over here. I see a lot of you guys, there's few of you have your hands up. This is a picture I wanted to show you guys that when you walk into any building in the enterprise, small, medium, or large company, Fortune 100 company means the top 100 company, Fortune 500 company means the top 500 companies, including Google, Facebook, Meta, and banks, all of those top-notch companies, they are called Fortune 100 and 500 companies. They are ranked according to their, number of, according to the money they make. Okay. So now, ISP is the internet service provider. ISP will give you the connection into your building. My ISP is Xfinity, is a Comcast. When I need an interview, when I need an internet rather, I call them, they come to my home, they run a coax cable into my home. They will say, this is the coax cable, and that's called the demarcation point. This is where they leave the internet. If you are a Fortune 500 company, this will be a fiber connection. For me, this is a coax connection. And then from this connection, they leave a box over there, or they leave a modem over there for you, or they leave a cable for you over there. Depending on how big the company you are, you will take that connection and you will plug it into your router. The very first router that this connection goes into is called the edge router. And usually that router also is protected by a firewall, which is a device also on the network, which basically checks your network and blocks the unauthorized access, certain attacks, malwares, it stops them. The unwanted traffic, it stops them. By the way, interestingly, when I show you how to log into the server, when you get to learn more about the server, then we will show you how many entities, how many threats, how many attacks are being made onto your server, and you will see them live. And there are thousands of attacks taking place as we are talking right now, probably on your laptop, probably on your network, which your firewall is blocking and you have no idea. Sometimes hackers do slip into your network and they can steal your information. We will talk about how to protect your network at home because your life depends on these computers. There's a lot of personal data, so you want to learn how to protect this. And then these firewalls gets connected to a switch again. Now we're coming to a network. And now these switches, you can have hundreds and thousands of these switches in a network, depending on the number of nodes you're trying to connect. Okay. And then you have of course, you have your internal, this will form your LAN network. Okay. Can you please record of this and the last two? Yeah, we will share the recording with you via the YouTube channel. Okay. And now we specifically talked about what is a server. And The server basically is a role in every enterprise, in every company. There are machines that serve something on the network. They sometimes have files, they sometimes have authorization for the user accounts, they have user information, they could be file servers, they could be running some applications, they could be application servers. um, Let me give you an example to you, as an average person in life. When you open up your cell phone, okay, and when you swipe this and you have all of your icons over there, each icon represents an application. Application could be independent application, or like a video game or a game that you play. It could be just independent. It has no network connectivity at the back end. It just gives you a beautiful um, interface, and you just play. Whatever you do with your video game, you just play that video game, and it has no network connection in the back end. Applications could be like my Gmail application, like my Telegram application, like my WhatsApp application, like my TikTok application, like my CNN application, my JP Morgan Chase application, YouTube application, Waze application, LinkedIn application, and more Instagram application. Any application that's network dependent, it has a server. What does that mean, network dependent? Like, if you don't have a network, if you don't have data on your cell phone, this application will not work. You know that, right? Those applications are server oriented applications. That means there is a server at the back end which has some information and is feeding to this application. If you are a TikTok user, okay, and you open up your TikTok application on your phone or on your laptop, this TikTok application basically makes a connection to some backend, not one server, probably thousands of servers. And it fetches the new videos for you, it fetches the likes, it fetches the comments. So there's more than one server sitting in the office of TikTok. There are thousands of servers sitting, working together, trying to serve your request. So this is a definition of a server, something that sits on the network and serve a purpose. In this case, a user trying to use a TikTok using the application. There is a backend server sitting in the data center at the TikTok facility, providing you with videos, likes, comments, hearts, or hates, whatever you want to call it. There are a bunch of servers that are serving your request. These servers, back in days when I was young and handsome, these servers were bare metal servers. Now these servers have become a virtual server, just like your life has become pretty virtual. You are a one physical phenomena, and then there is one virtual phenomena, logical phenomena that exists, your replica that exists on Instagram and on Facebook, on TikTok, and I don't know any other applications, but yeah, that knows a lot about you, what you like, what you don't like, what sort of pictures you upload, what videos you upload, where you like to go and eat, what you like to do in your evening time. All of your habits, they are basically there saved, and people can view your virtual version, virtual of you, your avatar basically. And so this is how they communicate with you. But at the back end, there's a one physical you. So in the IT industry, in the server market, same thing is happening. You have a one physical server. Now that physical server can be converted into bunch of virtual servers and serving different purposes. And also there's a new terminology now, technology now called cloud. And so this server could also become a cloud server. We will talk about the difference between the bare metal server. We will talk about the difference between virtual server. We will talk about the difference between cloud server. All of this in this class. For now, we are going back to the time when I was young and handsome, when I was 20 years old, 25 years old. We used to work with bare metal servers. We did not have no virtualization at that time. Forget about the cloud at that time. So at the end of the day, we had a one physical server that we used to buy from Dell, from HP, and from different vendors. And then we used to take those physical servers, now they call them bare metal servers. We used to rack them, stack them, and do the networking. And from time to time, we would open up their hood and replace some of the core components of that server. So in this slide, we're going to talk about the core components of a server. The core components of a server basically exactly the same as your laptop, as your desktop, right? The only difference is these servers, these beefy servers, they have bigger parts. And why? Because they're meant to run 24/7. They're not supposed to be shut down at the nighttime. Just like you close your lid of your machine, and when you go to sleep, you close it. Your laptop goes to sleep. If it's a desktop, you like to power it off. A, you don't want to spend electricity. B, you know this machine cannot be running 24/7, 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days. So therefore, servers have the same components as your laptop and a desktop, but they are very durable. They're supposed to last longer. They're supposed to be running for years and years without shutting down. And believe it or not, I have seen servers running for like 5 to 6 years without ever being shut down. And I did make a mistake at one point in my career to shut down a server which was running for, I believe, around 3 years or so, around there. So, um, that almost cost me my job. So I'm going to share that story with you someday, how it happened. When you start to work with the terminal, like when you start to work on a Unix terminal, that's when the story becomes more relevant. Okay. So the server has a CPU, your laptop has a CPU, your desktop has a CPU. What is a CPU? It's the brain of the computer. Your server has a RAM. RAM stores the information, the files temporarily. And your server has a storage device like SSD or SATA drive. Its job is to store files permanently. In my previous videos in Saturday and Sunday lecture, I talk about this in great depth and details. So you want to watch that video. This is under the hood. If you take the hood off, this is what you will find. You will find CPU. Again, you will find some RAM slots, right? And you will find the power supply. You will find the motherboard. You will find the network card, and you will find the power supply. And I briefly talked about their role. Okay. And this is where I break it down in simple terms. The CPU basically execute the operating system instructions and user programs. RAM basically stores the data temporarily for faster for active processes. And motherboard is basically where all these parts get connected, and that's how they communicate with each other, because they are all on the motherboard. And this is the storage hard drive. The hard drive stores the data permanently. When you shut down your system, all of your files are stored on your hard drive. You also have a network card, which I talked about earlier. The network card gets the IP address assigned. It basically sends the information to the other machine on the network. This basically takes the traffic in and out of your system. There's a power supply, which basically powers your server. And Usually there's a cooling system on top of the CPU to keep it cool because it gets hot, really, really hot. Okay. Don't worry about the slide permissions. I will have to change those permissions so everybody can access. For now, just focus on this. Okay. I'm going to take a stop over here for 5 minutes, and I'm going to take some questions from you guys. And I see 3 hands up. Yes, there is also a graphic card which basically displays the graphics or the visuals on your screen on your on your monitor. And let me remind my son to bring me a glass of water because I'm feeling thirsty already. Okay, let's take some questions over here. Let me go to Mohsen. Mohsen, go ahead and ask your question. If you don't have a question, please lower your hand. Okay, Mohsen does not have a question. I see John has a question. John, go ahead. Journey or John? You remind me of B. Journey Straub. Go ahead.
My apologies. I don't have a question. I didn't mean to raise my hand.
Okay, no problem. You remind me of my friend B. Journey Straub. He was the founder of C++. Me and him, we worked at AT&T Labs Research for years together. And
Yes, that's pretty old school. That he was popular when I was in college too.
he
Yeah,
was
he's
the
the
founder of the C++, and
yes.
I had the honor to work with him. Believe it or not, I was supporting him
So you
all the computational that he was doing on all of those servers. I was building those servers and making them available for him at the AT&T Labs Research in Florham Park. Very
Oh
humble,
wow.
very humble person. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
the other gentleman is Richie, right? The last name is Richie. That
Richie, yes. Richie who? Um, Richie Richard?
no, I think the last name is Richie. I think they wrote a book together about C, right? C
Yeah,
programs.
exactly. Yo, I don't know that guy. I also worked with David Korn. If you know David Korn. Um, David Korn was the Korn shell developer. And I also worked with the Stephen Bell. He was the first, he was the founder of the firewall, Stephen Bell. Dennis Ritchie, you're talking about? I think this is what Nasser is telling me. Dennis Ritchie.
Yes.
Dennis
Yes.
Ritchie. Yeah, they both wrote the book together. I remember that name. Yo, this guy was so humble. He used to help me with my homework assignments. I started working at AT&T Labs when I was 20. So the purpose of these classes is to introduce you to the operating system, which is Linux, and the cloud virtualization. And so this way, the idea is Linux operating system is the backbone of the IT industry. And Linux is the operating system. And I'm going to right jump into the operating system after these slides. And then I want to teach you the fundamentals of the Linux operating system and why you should learn about Linux operating system because it's widely used in the enterprise. And as the AI is taking over, as the cybersecurity is much more needed, you need to learn this skill, Linux. There are thousands of jobs as a Linux admin, Linux engineer, and even more jobs as a DevOps engineer if you know Linux. By learning Linux, you can open doors to many jobs in the IT industry. Primarily, you need to learn Linux for becoming a Linux admin, Linux engineer. You also can become a cloud engineer by learning Linux and some cloud. Linux is also needed for cybersecurity. And if you want to become a DevOps engineer, which we teach you in this course, how to become a DevOps engineer once you transition into the after the 40 hours, which is basically free for you guys to try out this course to see if you like learning what you're learning. And if you want to continue, then there's a paid program called DevOps. So that's why we're introducing you to servers, and then we're going to introduce the operating system, which is Linux, which is going to be installed on top of a server. And then we will interact with Linux and we will learn how to communicate with it. Just like you use Windows and Mac OS, Linux is another operating system. Okay?
Okay, but I also have another question.
Yeah.
Is this gonna like help us in the long run?
Is it going to help you in the long run?
Yeah.
That depends, Zora, what you want to do in the IT industry. If you want to grow in this domain, you want to become a Linux admin or Linux engineer, if you want to become a cybersecurity engineer, if you want to become a DevOps engineer, then this is the right course for you. And if you have the interest and passion, this will definitely help you. But if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a dentist, if you want to be an artist, then you don't need to learn Linux. Okay. It never existed for you ever before. It will not exist for you. But if you are interested on, the backbone of the cloud, if you're interested on how the AI is functioning today and where are all of these, AIs coming from, you need to learn Linux. So why are we learning Linux? Because not everybody can learn Linux. It's a little bit difficult to learn and only some people can learn it. That means it's a rare talent. You cannot find people who are willing to put in their time and effort to learn this type of system, and therefore they will pay you top-notch dollar. I started teaching in 2013, and every year we place many students based on this skill. So if you're looking for a 100K salary, you want to learn this skill just only in 6 months. I don't know any other domain that where you can spend just 6 months without a college degree, without a certification, and walk away with $100,000 salary. I don't know. For a nurse, you need to go to 4 years college. You need to know every bone name in your body in order to become a nurse. But IT industry is all about demand and supply. If there is a demand, if you know those skills, you will get a job. Does that make sense? Okay, good. All right, let me go to, I'm going to take one more question and then we're going to continue learning because we don't have enough time. Go ahead, Gadir. I know you have a question over here. Hold on a second. Okay, she lowered her hand. Aiz Wadach. I gave you microphone. Okay, you lowered your hand too. How about X30, 380, X380?
Yeah, yes, sir, it's me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I really appreciate the information you're teaching about NSD, RAM, CPU, and all these. That's computer hardware. Like, do you think this is computer's hardware, right?
Yeah, this is computer's hardware, right? I
Yeah.
talked about a server, which is a bare metal
Yeah,
phenomena, which
exactly.
is a physical thing. So this is a hardware thing. Yeah.
Yes. So I think everyone in this meeting is Gen Z, like people whose ages are approximately 16, 17, 20, 25, right? 10 years later and 15 years later, I have just one question, which really I appreciate. One other, I think she was good. She asked, why are we doing in this meeting? So this can be an add-on. Do you think 10, 15 years later, the knowledge of these things, because artificial intelligence is taking over every single thing, ChatGPT, OpenAI, they are the world is going more software rather than hardware. Do you think hardware knowledge will be valuable 15 years later? Because we're going to do jobs that time. Do you think hardware knowledge matters 15 years later because the world is on AI?
Yeah, absolutely. Hardware knowledge is still relevant because at the end of the day, these technologies are still sitting on a hardware and somebody's managing that hardware. Even though we have transitioned from let me show you over here, even though we have transitioned from hardware to the software. So this is what happened. When you transition from a hardware, right over here, bare metal server, to a virtual machine, these concept, a virtual machine, you would still need to allocate some CPU, RAM, and hard disk. Even if you transition into a cloud, these terms are always going to remain there. And this cloud and the virtualization will always depend on bare metal. This cloud doesn't run on its own. It's called cloud because somebody smart like Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure, what they did is they bought thousands of servers and they hosted them in their data centers, and collectively through applications, through software, they made it available to you as cloud servers.
Okay,
So
and
you don't have to buy these physical servers, but when you buy a cloud server or a cloud instance, that's what they call them, you would still need to put together a server which will ask you the CPU, the RAM, and the hard drive configuration. So these terms are always going to be very relevant. So we start with the bare metal, then we show you virtualization with VMware, then we show you cloud through Amazon Web Services. Your question is very valid. And I'm glad you asked this question because everybody's thinking, why the hell we need to learn the hardware? It's irrelevant. No, all that chat GPT, let me tell you, chat GPT model is sitting on millions of computers. Millions of these computers sitting in a $500 billion data centers in Texas. And all of these millions of computers are hardware-based computers. They are bare metal servers. And all of them are running Linux on top of them. So guess what? The chat GPT is available to you as an application. And you go there and you ask your question. And when ChatGPT is saying thinking, it's running some of the programs on all of these servers, or some of these servers. So your job as a cloud engineer, as a Linux admin, Linux engineer, is to handle all the backend infrastructure servers, platform, which makes the applications such as ChatGPT available to you. If these servers somehow go down, meaning they lose power, they lose network, or they get overcrowded, ChatGPT is going to be killed. So therefore, these servers are going to be managed by admins, okay, engineers, analysts, and application guys. And these are all the backend people who are the backstage running the operations on these servers.
Sabai, are you sharing something? Because they can't see what you're doing.
Oh, they cannot see this? Sorry about that. Oh, I thought
Yeah.
I shared that. Hold on a second, right here.
I was also looking at his camera and it was like he's writing something. This is like,
Here, sorry. All of this time I was doing this. Oops,
oh,
you didn't tell me that. So I started off with this, that bare metal servers are now getting converted into virtual machines. Still, the CPU, RAM, and HD hard drive is relevant. And then this virtual machine gets converted into a cloud server. Still, you need the CPU, RAM, and the hard drive. So over here, the Chat GPT is an application made available to you as a consumer. Well, you just go to ChatGPT website, it's an application. At the back end, you have these thousands of servers enabling this ChatGPT to do what you want it to do. And if one of these are all servers, by the way, they're all bare metal servers. Bare metal servers, exactly what I'm teaching you. And they're all running Linux on top of them. Linux as an operating system. So there are administrators, there are engineers, there are analysts, there are application, and there are cybersecurity guys who are keeping the house in order. And this is where I'm talking about. As AI is taking off, these number of servers are increasing. Cloud is getting bigger. Understand one thing. What is cloud? Cloud is rental service. You want to start up a company. You don't have money to do all the networking to store data onto these expensive servers and storage devices. You don't have money to buy routers. You don't have money to buy cables and network switches. Servers cost a lot of money. A good server can cost you up to $100,000. That's upfront cost. Cloud service provider such as Amazon and Microsoft Azure, what they did is they bought thousands of servers, they put them in data centers, and they have created a beautiful website where you can go and buy a server online. In 1 second, they give you a server. They made it available to you. But at the end of the day, this cloud rental company has millions of devices, servers, the one that I showed you earlier, working in their data center. So the bare metal physical servers are still relevant for the Gen Z because this will put the money in your pocket. If you know how to manage, how to install, configure, maintain, support these servers. And therefore, you need to learn some things such as Linux and DevOps.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you so much for your just one main thing I want to add in it. Like you use ChatGPT as an example. It's a platform, AI platform. But when we're dealing with ChatGPT has nothing to do with the CPU and RAM. It's just like an open AI. We go to Google, we go to chatgpt.com, it's like a website, and then we just start the conversation with him. He's teaching anything, he's like doing assignments for the students and all. I don't think so. ChatGPT has any link with. I know indirectly, ChatGPT is controlled by Google. Google is controlled in the laptop. Laptop is dependent on this. Laptop doesn't have CPU. It has RAM and all these things. So it has an indirect link, not direct link. Directly, your ChatGPT is a website, and website never it has a direct link to your RAM and CPU. Yeah, the one who is gonna be a mechanical engineer, he has to know these things and can be profitable to him.
Okay, well, that's completely wrong concept. Absolutely wrong concept you have got. Okay, let me tell you one thing. Any website that you touch today, any website, let's just say Google, or let's just say ChatGPT. You gave me ChatGPT example.
Yes.
Okay. ChatGPT and Google is a web server. ChatGPT Google is a search engine. Sort of ChatGPT is an AI model, is LLM, large language machine. Okay. Now, what is the ChatGPT? ChatGPT is an application. That's how you define ChatGPT. It's a web application. Okay. That's the IT term for that. Google is also a web application. The fact that you can get up in your home and you can type google.com or chatgpt.com, there exist thousands of servers, bare metal servers that are working together collectively to make this website available to you. Understand that. Same thing with the ChatGPT. There exist thousands, hundreds and thousands of bare metal servers that are basically running this website. And I will show you how when we learn Linux. And I will also show you how Linux run websites. 90% of websites are running on top of some type of hardware, and they are all running Linux. I think you have wrong concept. Take any application today, Instagram, TikTok, they're all running. This is not for mechanical engineers. This is for system administrators, system engineers, cybersecurity specialists, DevOps engineers. They work on these servers to make the applications available to you. So you can use ChatGPT, Google, or any website. That is the role of a system administrator, system engineer, and a DevOps engineer. And cybersecurity just comes in to make sure that this website is secure. These systems are very highly secure, so no unauthorized access goes through. Okay, so
Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate your answers.
yeah, so now when you were saying that these things have nothing to do with the CPU, RAM, completely wrong concept. They are highly dependent on the server, very server that I showed you, and the servers run the show. If you remove the server, the ChatGPT is nothing. ChatGPT is a graphical interface in front of you where you just type your information and whatever you want to ask. At the back end, at the very core,
I
you know,
have a
the
question.
back end, at the very core,
Excuse me.
yes.
I have like two things to say. Isn't ChatGPT technically like, are you trying to say Google and ChatGPT are different or the same?
Well, they're kind of same, but Google has a Gemini, which is their AI model.
So are you talking about in a like in producing? Because like if you're talking about like defining, ChatGPT is the same as Google because it's just a more advanced search engine. But if you're talking about production wise, then yeah, they're different, like about who produced them. But
Yeah,
like
you're right. So listen, Google is a search engine. When you type something, it will go search all the websites in the world and show you that this website may have your answer. This website may have what you're looking for. ChatGPT gives you the precise answer what you're looking for. That's the difference.
so
So,
again,
so
it's just
guess,
answer.
I'm sorry to cut you off. So guess what ChatGPT, Gemini, and Copilot did? They basically took all the information from the internet, they absorbed it in their system, they saved it in their system, and they developed a very sophisticated program that gives you specific answers. Whatever you ask it to do, it will do it for you. If you wanted to write a program, it will write a program for you. If you wanted to write a story, it will write a story for you. If you wanted to diagnose a disease issue, it will do that for you because it has all the knowledge in this world fed into it. And it's smart now. It has books, it has articles. Now, what these scientists did was basically they came up with basically sophisticated programming algorithms to get the information to you, presented to you, which already existed, by the way. And it's learning and growing as you ask more questions, and it's getting smarter and smarter. So this class is going to teach you the technologies, the very backbone of the ChatGPT, the very backbone of the Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Services, and Google Gemini, all of these technologies that make these services available to you, Linux and other relevant technologies. Okay. So thank you. I hope you get some clarity on this.
Wait,
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Let's continue over here. And I suggest you guys watch my Saturday and Sunday video to get more clarity. You have a lot of good, interesting questions. You have a lot of
excuse me.
concepts that need to be corrected. And I'm sorry.
I have another question.
Go ahead, Zora. This will be the last question. I gotta move forward, okay?
Okay. At the end of these like classes and like sessions and stuff, like do we like take a test on this or do we get like a certificate? Like what happens at the end?
Okay, yes. So these are 4 weeks classes, 40 hours. Right now, I'm giving you some theoretical knowledge to build your base, foundational. What is a server? What are the networking devices? What is an IP address? Then, as soon as I was hoping to get it done today, but as soon as Saturday, we're going to start learning Linux. You will get taste of how to work with the Linux operating system. You will also learn about the virtualization, which you're completely don't know what these things are. You will also learn about cloud. Along the way, I will share these slides with you. I mean, I will also give you some quiz. These 40 hours classes, they are meant to give you an introduction to basic networking, basic Linux, basic virtualization, basic cloud. This will build your foundational knowledge. And when you're done with the 40 hours classes, you can either go into DevOps by yourself, learn the relevant skills, like, dig deeper into Linux and cloud and the DevOps tools, or you can go learn cybersecurity and pursue different career paths. This is more general about IT, specifically Linux, introduction to Linux, essential Linux, virtualization, some cloud. The certificate, let me tell you one thing. Completion of a course in IT industry doesn't mean anything. You can sit on Coursera, you can sit on Google courses, you can complete anything you want. It's not going to do any good to you. When you take that completion certificate to employer, he's going to just simply put it in his trash can and it's going to say, let's talk. What do you know? Also going to ask you, what industry certifications do you have? And in our paid program, those who will develop some sort of skills based on this foundational knowledge, they would want to move into our paid program, which is the DevOps paid program, which is for 6 months, which is a job-oriented program where we focus on getting our students 100K plus salary. And then we will take them. Of course, there is a fee for that, which I will discuss toward the end. I didn't want it to be a marketing pitch. I just want to give you guys foundational knowledge so you have enough foundation understanding so you can build on more skills on top of that, so you can make yourself marketable. You didn't know about servers, you didn't know about Linux, you didn't know about cloud. Now you do. So this knowledge is continue to build your skills in 40 hours. And then you have a choice to continue with our program, which is job oriented program, targeted 100K salary, or you can go on other platforms to learn and grow your skills wherever your interest lies. Okay? Thank you. All right, so let's move forward. And please raise your hand before you just come on the microphone, because let's go ahead and move forward. Are we going to do any hands-on today? Well, I could just open up the CLI right now and we can start learning Linux. But I just want you to have little foundation before you get onto the server. So you have to know where you are at and why you're there. Okay, so let's continue to build your foundation over here. I'm sorry that I'm repeating a lot of the stuff that we have already covered, but it was the need for all the students that joined, and we will continue to explore these slides. And then we're gonna jump right into Linux, which basically is an operating system. And I am actually going to get started with some hands-on with Linux. All I'm going to tell you right now is this, that Linux is an operating system. Let me see show of hands, those of you who were here in my Saturday and Sunday class, and you want to get right into the command line interface working on the Linux. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up for me, please, okay? Keep your hands up. I want to see how many of you are there. Okay. Okay, that's a vast number. Keep your hands up, please. Keep your hands up, okay? It's not going to cost you any money to keep your hand up. Do me a favor. Keep your hand up and keep coming. I want to see how many of you. All right, very good. Right now, we're crossing about 50% of the class. Okay, very good. All right. I don't know why you guys like to put your hand down right away. Like some people, they raise their hand and then they lower their hand. Like they're shy to even raise their hand electronically. It's crazy, okay? Take that shyness out of you, okay? Please take that shyness out of you. lower hands. Okay, so let's talk about understanding Linux. Sorry. You see, I have this device in my hand. This is the Apple device. Okay. iPhone. I have this iPhone device, which is 16 small version, which sucks, by the way, because of the bad signal on my phone. This device has an operating system which is called the iOS. The OS stands for operating system. The idea of operating system is this. It allows you to interact with this device. Okay? I have my cell phone. If I press on the screen, it will give me a light because it has an operating system which allows me to interact with this device. Now, if you're using Windows, if you have a HP laptop, you're probably using Windows operating system. If you have Mac, you're probably using Mac operating system. So let me show you over here. If I can share my screen over here with you guys. Take a look at this. Now I am at using my operating system. I can double click on the Google Voice. I can open TikTok. I can open my slides. This is where I have saved all of my data. Operating system, which is a software phenomena, gives me the ability to interact. It provides an interface for me to work with. You see this desktop that I'm working with? This is my operating system. And now I want to get information about my system. I will type over here system information, and I will pull out the system information right over here. And if I can take this right here, and I can take a snapshot of this, I want to show you the most important information over here about my system. So you see that it's right over here. The name of my operating system, it is Windows operating system. You see this? The name of my operating system is Microsoft Windows Home. Okay. Who manufactured this operating system? Microsoft Corporation. What is my system name? Desktop dash this. What is my system model? I have Surface Laptop Studio. This is the physical device. What type of CPU I have? I have Intel based CPU, x64. Okay. I have x64 architect system type. And then I have this processor over here. Remember I was talking about the four components, the four important components. Let's talk about those four components over here for a second. One of them being right over here. See, every server, every laptop, every desktop has a CPU, which is processor right over here, which is the brain of the computer. Second thing I talked about was memory. Total physical memory in this computer is 15 or 16 gigabyte, rather 16 GB. And we're going to talk about what is GB, what is MB, what is KB, what is bytes. The smallest unit in counting size is byte, a bit, byte, kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, and then there's terabyte, and so on and so forth. Okay, we'll talk about this. So we identified two of these core components. One is over here, the CPU. The other one is over here, the RAM. Okay. And then there are other components which we can get into, the hard drive. Okay. We can get into the And then there are hardware. This is a specification because operating system acknowledges this. Okay. And so this is my operating system. My operating system is giving me an interface. It's giving me this beautiful screen to interact. Now I can store my data over here. I can fetch my data. I have applications installed. I have browsers. I have this virtualization platform over here, VMware, which you're not familiar with. So just like that, Linux is an operating system. And because why are we learning the Linux operating system? That's important to look into. Where did my slides go? Okay, cancel this out over here for 1 second. Right over here. So if I go back in my Zoom and share slide. One important thing about Linux, well, there exists Windows, there exists Unix, there exists Linux. Why should we choose Linux operating system to run on our laptop? Most importantly, run on our servers. Well, the reason is, sorry, new slide. The reason is Unix, which is also another operating system, Windows, which is most likely what you're using, Mac, which is an Apple operating system, versus Linux. Well, all of these operating systems, okay, all of these operating systems, they are called closed source. Closed source mean they do not show their backend coding. Meaning they do not show you the code. See, Unix, Windows, and Apple, they were built using some programming language like C++ or Java, mixture of languages. And thousands of people got together in order for them to develop these operating system coding languages. They programmed, they wrote thousands of programs, and then they came up with the Unix and Windows and Mac. That very program, which has millions of lines of code, they don't want to see anybody. They don't want anybody to have access to that. As a result, if you're using Unix and Windows and Mac, you are heavily dependent on these companies to customize something for you. If you don't like something in the operating system, you would have to go back to Unix, Windows, and Mac, Apple makers of the operating system, and pay them money to change something in the operating system or the way the operating system works or some functionality. Linux, on the other side, ladies and gentlemen, the very code, which is called the source code, the source code in Linux, the code that made Linux, source code that made Unix, Windows, in Linux, it is completely open and available for anybody, for programmers, for companies, for regular user, me and you, to go and see this source code. And also people, programmers, engineers, they can go into the source code and they can make some changes over there and they can customize the operating system. And then that's why this operating system is so popular. That's why even Windows, which has their own operating system, Microsoft, their operating system is called Windows. Me and you use that. Even they decided to use Linux in order for them to create their cloud technologies. That's why Linux is very powerful. And today we're going to be jumping into learning a Linux for ourselves. Osad, if you can go ahead and give me a link to that, your Linux box, so we can have everybody log into the Linux machine. Okay. Are you there?
Yep, I'm sharing in the chat.
Okay, go ahead and share this in the chat with me so I can share the link over here. Now, we will be logging into Linux server. I want to make it a little bit, interactive for you guys, and little bit interesting for you guys, so you get to see how to work with Windows and Linux server. A little bit exciting for you. So let me go ahead and open this window right here for you guys, and I can going to share my screen with you guys, and you guys can basically log into this page. I'm going to give you, if you guys don't wait for my instructions, you're going to mess it up big time. Here's the link. If you guys can share the link with them. Wait for my instructions. I know you're going to mess it up somewhere. Okay. And I don't want you to mess it up. I want you to stay with me, wait, and follow my instructions. Go to this website over here. Go to this website. And I want you to choose a name for yourself, a username. Wait over here. A username usually username usually goes like this. All right. If my name is Asad Akhtar, I would choose my username ASADA, all lowercase, all lowercase. Or I can also do this Asad.A. Or I can also do this Asad AKHTAR. Whatever username you want. You can call yourself Princess, you can call yourself White Horse, but keep it with your name. Okay, first name dot last initial, and then the password. Everybody choose the password ABC123 for the simplicity's sake. All lowercase, nothing in Linux uppercase for now. Let nothing in Linux uppercase for now. So go ahead and create your account using this link. I am going to create my account over here. I'm going to call myself Asad. Okay. This is my username. I'm choosing ABC123. Now, when you're done creating your username, there's a link. You will go to this link over here and you will type this, and this will bring the terminal, and then you will enter that username and the password that you just created. And remember, when you're entering the username over here and when you enter the password, it's not going to show on your screen that you're entering the password. Understand that. Okay, it's not going to show you your password being typed, so you're going to think, oh my god, my password is not working. So be careful. So let's take all right, go ahead and create your username over here, and I am going to choose my password. Okay, now successfully, look over here, it says account created successfully. You can now log into with the Vidi page. I copy paste this one and I bring it over here, and now I'm going to close this one again, and I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste over here. And now my username is Bob A. You chose your own username. Don't type my username. Bob A. And password ABC123, which is not showing on the screen. And there you go. I have just logged into my Linux server successfully. And how many of you have logged into this server successfully? Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. Okay. Let me start all over again for those of you who are a little bit confused. So I'm going to exit out of this. Exit. Keep your hands up if you logged in. Keep your hands up. I want to see how many of you are, and hit the hand up button once you're logged in successfully. Let me close this window. All right. You come to this page first. You have to create your username. Every time you want to access a network system, you need to have a username. You need to create your username. This is how you access servers. Usernames can be anything. It could be anything you want, but usually 5 to 8 characters. It could be your name. You can say your name is Bob. You can say your name is Mary. And Mary Jones .j, lowercase. And then the next thing is asking you for the password. Choose the simple password. Do not complicate things. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Is this a secure password? Absolutely no. Absolutely no. But who cares? This is a test server. Now you have your username and password. Now you can take this username and you can go to the second page, which it shows you right over here. Highlight this, copy, and paste. Hit enter. And now it's asking you for the username. The username exactly the same what you created before. You created it. For me, it's Bob A. My password is ABC123. For you, it's something else. And let me see how many of you are logged in over here. Ladies and gentlemen, I have only 66 users logged in. Only 66 of you have been successfully able to log in. All right. What's going on over here? In Linux, I don't care what you're using. You're using Mac, you're using Windows. It's a website I gave you. Go to that website. That's why I simplified it for you. Okay? What we need to write on that black screen, you need to write the username that you created. Look over here. When you chose your username, you chose a password. So now you have two things. You have the username and a password. You need to remember these two things. And then you go to this link over here and you type this link over here. It will ask you your username. Username is the first thing that you created. The second thing is the password. Okay. You cannot have dashes. You cannot have hyphens. Just use. Can you guys give the the link again, please? The panelist. Here you go. Go ahead. Use this link to create your username. When in the black screen, when you type your username, you will see printed on screen. When you type your password, it will never show you that you're typing your password because of security concerns, right? If somebody guessed the number of letters in your password, that's a one key for them to break into your account. Security is a big concern for Linux. Okay, if it says connection closed, how many of you are getting connection closed? Maybe it's busy serving people. Now I see 101 people. You see this, folks? Type the command uptime. Type the uptime command, just like I typed over here, and see how many users have logged in successfully. And now you have 101 users logged in. Okay, Nasser and the panelists, please help my students. Okay, Now I have 107 users logged in. I want to have more than 200 students logged in over here. Okay. Now, let me take some of your questions while the panelists are answering the questions. I'm going to lower your hands over here, completely lower your hands. And I want those guys who are having problem to raise their hand. Those of you who are having a problem, raise your hand. And I'm going to go to Gurkirat. I'm going to go to Gurkirat first and giving the mic to Gurkirat. Gurkirat, go ahead. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Gurkrit. Yes, Gurkrit.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You're pronouncing it all right. I'm just working on the VATI right now. That's why I wasn't able to look at like my hand was raised.
Okay, no problem. You're good. You're good. Am I pronouncing your name right, Gurkrit?
It's Gurkirat.
Gurkrit. Chagyan.
Yeah.
Chagyan
Yeah.
mudya.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Gurkrit. Okay. Let me go to Shiraz. Shiraz, go ahead and unmute yourself. Don't worry about the error that gives you the error, the information about the register this system. You're good. Sammy, you're good. Okay, reconnect if you have to. Refresh your page because there are approximately 200 people, or more than 200 people trying to connect. All right, very good. You're good, Sammy. All right, let me see over here who else has any. Shiraz, go ahead. Shiraz, I'm not able to hear you. So I'm going to come back to you, maybe fix your microphone. I'm going to go to Danielle Moin.
Oh, that's me.
Danielle?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
I'm trying to create the account. I put the username and I put the password. But once I click create account, then
This is what I'm going to do, Danielle. I'm going to create your account. Look at me. Look at my screen.
okay.
I'm going to
Yep.
create Dani Moin. Is that okay?
Yes.
Dani Moin. Pay attention. And I'm choosing the password ABC123. Okay. And I'm going to say hit create. Okay.
Okay.
It says account successfully created. So
Okay.
now I'm going to go to this link over here. I'm going to do Control C. And I'm going to go to paste over here and I'm going to hit enter. Now it says enter your username. I'm going to say Dani, M-O-I-N, right?
Yes.
And I'm going to hit enter. It is asking me for your password. I'm going to type ABC123, but it's not going to show you on the screen.
Understood.
ABC123 and hit enter. There you go. I'm logged in. Once I see $, I'm in the system.
Okay. Yeah, no, on my end, I couldn't, whenever I clicked create
Go
account,
ahead.
it would
Try
bring a
now.
separate page.
Boss, try now. Try now. You might have to try a couple of times because there's hundreds of people trying to log in right
Yeah,
now.
I tried a few times, but now that I have the
You have the
$,
account now. Go ahead.
okay, now I have the $. Yep.
There you go. Dani, you're
Yep.
good. So I'm going to exit out of your account. I will type the exit command.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to close this window. I have successfully logged out of your account. I'm going to type uptime command to see how many users are logged in. 128. We have a delta of around 80 more people. Hina, you're good. I like that. Hina, you're logged in.
Thank you.
Okay. Daniel, you can mute yourself. Let me go to somebody else. Shiraz is still not able to talk. I'm going to go to Amna. Amna, go ahead. Amna, go ahead. Amna, you have a microphone. Okay. Amna doesn't want to talk. No problem. I'm going to go to Tola. Hey, wassalam, Amna. Go ahead.
Sir, I'm typing my username. See, it doesn't seem like my account is being created.
Here we go, Amna. We're going to create an account for you right over here. Look, I'm going to create an account for you. Amna. Okay. And what's your last name? Badr?
Yes, but
I'm going to say Amna BA. Is that okay?
okay. It's
And I'm going to choose a password ABC123. Remember your username, Amna BA.
Okay, fine. ठीक है,
Okay, the account created. Now I'm going to take this Control C and I'm going to open up another browser, hit over here. And now it's asking me for your username, Amna BA.
BA. Yes, BA.
Hit enter, password ABC123. It's not going to show me on the screen. And there you go. Once I see $sign over here, that means I start to make money, Amna. This is an indication that all of you that are getting $sign, that's an indication you're gonna make 100K salary. I promise you, if you stick to this program, 100K salary, inshallah. Okay. All right. So let me close this now, Amna. I'm gonna exit out of your account. I want you to follow these steps. Go to this page first. And by the way, you don't need to create this account now. You just need to go to this page. This page.
Yes,
Okay. I think you're coming from Pakistan. Maybe there's a traffic issue or something or slowness.
I just logged in. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Amna is in. Let me go to Tahmina.
Hello?
Yes, Tahmina. Hold on. Tola, you're next. Sorry.
Yeah, hey. Yeah, similar issue to the last two.
Okay. So you want to do this with me, Tola?
Yep, I'm here.
Let's do this. All right. First thing is go to this page for me.
I'm there.
You're there?
Yep.
Choose your username, Tola, and what's your last name? Tola
You can
Ola.
just do yeah.
I'm going to put Tola Ola.
That's fine.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to choose a password. Can you type this for me? Tola Ola, and then type lowercase ABC123.
Sure. I mean, I tried a couple times. I had some issues.
Okay, let me try this. Let me try this for you.
You can do it on your side.
Tola Ola, you remember your username.
Yep.
ABC123. And guess what? It says account created successfully.
All right, I'm at that page now, so I'll type it in.
Yeah. There you go. Now look, you're at the Viti page now?
Yeah.
Okay, here. I'm at the Viti page too now.
Oh,
Go
so
ahead, type Tola Ola.
Okay.
And hit enter.
All right, $sign. Thank you so much. I'm
There
good to
you go. Excellent. All right. We resolved problem so let me see if she is logged in over here. I can see over here, by the way, uptime. Oh, good. We're making progress. I have 144 people. There is still delta of around, I would say, 60 more students. All right. No Child Left Behind Act says you got to take everybody with you. You got to make sure that everybody is able to log in. If you're on a cell phone, I cannot help you. You got to be on your laptop next time you take my class. All right. So now we cannot leave them. Okay. This is not a Squid Game over here, ladies and gentlemen, where you're trying to kill the other one so you can win the game. Okay. How many of you watch the Squid Games? Okay. Let me go to Meet. Meet is saying that mine is Tamina, you need to unmute yourself. You have questions? Tamina?
Asad bhai, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I raised my hand earlier. I could not sign in, but I guess I forgot my password, but I made another account and now I am in. Is that okay if I have 2 accounts?
The major issue is people forget their password. That's why I told you guys. I told you guys don't get fancy with your password. ABC123 is the weakest password.
It was a very easy one, but I think when you put in your email IDs and all those things, I think I just needed something else, not so too easy. I forgot that easy one.
Easy. No problem. You got it. Let me go to Meet. Meet is saying over here, usernames are unique. No 2 people can have the same username. Passwords are not unique. Anybody can have any password. Rule 1, when you're working in the industry, you never ask anybody for their password. this happened to me when I joined. I was very stupid and dumb. My manager sent me to help somebody with the login issue. This issue that you guys are facing right now is called login issue. When I walked into her office and I said, what's going on? Her name was Liz. I still remember that. I said, Liz, what's going on? She's like, I don't know. My account stopped working. I said, okay, no problem. Let me try. Let me try for you. And she goes, okay. I take over her terminal, just like, you know, I'm sitting on a terminal and type Liz username Liz and I hit enter. And the next thing is asking for a password. I said, Liz, what's your password? She looked at me like this. She gave me the most weirdest look ever I've gotten in my life. She goes, what? I said, I need your password. She goes, password? My password? Like, hey, I'm not supposed to give you my password. This is against the security. She didn't say that. I'm the guy who's the sysadmin working for AT&T, and I'm asking this to her. Of course, she's going to give me the password. And after she gave me her password, it was the most weirdest password. I should have never asked her for her password. She was embarrassed, and I was embarrassed to ask too. And I walked out, and we never looked into each other's eyes ever again. So I've never asked passwords. People get really crazy with passwords. And, you know, she went and she told this to my boss. Who's this guy asking for my personal password to log into my system? How did he do that? And then he came right into my office like, Assad, did you ask the user for her password? I said, no, being a typical Desi guy. No, not me. I said, do you remember the password? And she gave me her password. I flipped the whole thing over, you know, back to her. Anyway, so you got to play these games to survive at workplace. And he's like, yeah, I know, you know, you wouldn't ask anybody for their passwords. Reverse psychology sometimes. Hey, that saved my job. Wallahi, if I didn't lie, I would have been out. Okay. And so you gotta, hey, you know, do whatever you gotta do. All right. Let me see over here the people who are not able to log in. I created a username and password, logged in successfully. Am I supposed to do something? Just type uptime. Type uptime to see how many users are logged in. 154. Yes, you got that right, Jane. Okay. Now let me see over here. I'm going to lower your hands and I'm going to ask those people who have their login issues. Login issue, by the way, we got to learn the terminology, the lingo of the industry. Login issue over here. So now, Khatija, go ahead. No, Khatija, what are you doing over here? My God, what are you doing over here, Khatija? All right, Saad, go ahead and ask your question, please. Folks, bear with me. I'm going to teach you some commands. Saad, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, Asad bhai.
Assalam.
I'm very sorry. I just raised the hand to let you know that I have logged in.
Okay, no problem. Saad, it's the other way around, brother. We're trying to find people who cannot log in. They have login issues, but you're good. As long as you're logged in, I'm good. I'm happy. I see 4 people who are not able to log in. Ijaz, my buddy, what's going on over here? I gave you the microphone. Ijaz is like, you know what, bro? Forget about it. You think you're gonna get me logged in? Hell no. I ain't here to learn something. I just came here to see what's free. Who does anything for free?
Hi.
Hey, Ijaz.
I tried.
Yeah. Tell me what's going on.
No, I tried. I couldn't log in. I log in. I tried, but I could not log in.
Okay. Let's do this together. Type this in your browser. Are you at this page?
Yeah.
Okay. Ijaz, I'm going to create an account for you. EJAZ A. Ijaz A. Okay? And I'm going to type a password ABC123.
ABC123.
Yes, lowercase. Now go to this page, Ijaz.
Okay. Please.
Ijaz, you go to this page and type Ijaz, EJAZ. And what was the Ijaz A? And the password is ABC123. There you go. I just logged in. Ijaz.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You got it, Ijaz?
Yeah.
I remember there was some YouTube click on the Ijaz Saab, something like that. Did you watch that YouTube click? Ijaz Saab. It's a very popular one, by the way. Watch it when you get a chance. Okay, Ijaz is done. Next, Zishan. Zishan, those who know, they know. Those who don't know, they don't know. This funny clip on YouTube, Ijaz Saab. All right, let me see over here. Muhammad Zishan. Zishan, go ahead. All right, Zishan, you have the microphone.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Asad bhai, login nahi aa raha, keep getting errors.
What error? What error are you getting? Are you on this?
Okay, let's see.
Let's type over here. Okay, let's type your name. We're gonna say M dot your last name Nisar.
Okay.
M dot Nisar. And the password is ABC123. No, your username, we cannot use that. So I'm gonna say M Nisar. M without the dot. M Nisar and ABC123. M Nisar. Perfect, done. Now I'm over here.
Okay, that was the error because I was thinking what's happened. So I thought the username would be available. Okay, I got it.
No, you gotta read this over here, bro. If it says I cannot create the account, try a different username.
Asad bhai, I tried 6 different ways on my name and still it was giving me same error.
Oh, you cannot use the dot, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it was saying, giving me.
Okay. Someone help, please. Naseem. Naseem, go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let me go to Naseem. Naseem, what's bothering you? Go ahead, you have the microphone. Naseem, go
Yeah,
ahead.
can you hear me?
Yes, Naseem, I'm going to create an account for you. Look over.
Yeah.
Look.
Okay.
Naseem, Naseem.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna say Naseem M. Okay?
Yeah.
So there's 2 M. Naseem M. The password is
Alright.
ABC123.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go to this Witty page.
Okay. I try.
WETTY, Wetty page.
Mm-hmm.
And look over here. Naseem
M.
2M.
Yep.
And now ABC123. Go
But
ahead.
is this? Yeah, but like when I come here, okay, is not show me password.
That's what I
That's
told
why.
you. Naseem. It's not gonna show you password. That's the security for Linux.
Oh, okay. Understand.
Okay? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank
Very
you.
good. Very good. Very good.
Mhm.
Okay, folks. So today, because I believe in No Child Left Behind Act, I want to make sure that everybody No Child Left Behind Act. Everybody should be on the same page. Therefore, today we conquered how to log into Linux. For some of you, it's a lot easier. For some of you, it was a little bit difficult. No big deal. We overcame that. Stay here. Those of you who could not log in, we're going to make sure that you're able to log in. Those of you who are willing to give me another 8 minutes, let's do some fun on this terminal. Let me log out of Naseem's account. And let me come over here. First of all, let's see what system you're on. Host name, CTL. Type your first command. Host name, CTL. Ladies and gentlemen, what you see in front of you is information about the system you just logged in. And what is that information? It's right over here. And let me break it down to you right over here. Right over here. Starting with this information over here, ladies and gentlemen. What is this over here? This is my
Wow.
user ID. Naseem, please go ahead and mute yourself, okay?
It's
Yeah. Now, this is your username, which is also called user login name, username. This is your username. This over here, ladies and gentlemen, is your server name. Server name. Server name usually means that just like humans have names, in networking world, everything has a name and IP address. Because we cannot remember IP addresses. We can remember names. We are good with names. For example, if I told you the server name is server 101, that's the name of your server. The dollar sign, ladies and gentlemen, shows that you're using something called a shell to connect to your server. This shows that you are on a Linux system. You are on a shell. I will explain you what shell is. And dollar sign also represents good luck to you for lots more dollars in your life. Because not everybody can learn this skill. If you learn it, the likelihood is there's going to be more dollars in your pocket. So come back over here. Don't go to that beach in Dubai. Come back. We still got to learn. We have to learn to earn. That's what Linoop stands for. Learn to earn. Server name. This is my server name. And this is my company domain name. Domain, ladies and gentlemen, every company has a domain name. If you're working for AT&T, their domain is att.com. If you're working for Google, their domain name is google.com. All of these servers will always have this at the end. So the server name is, ladies and gentlemen, right over here. This is the domain name. Okay. This is like the family name. Every server in Linoop will always have linoop.com. That's like the last name for every device on our network. Now, icon name means they're telling you, giving you a little bit description about this machine that you just logged into. This is a computer server. This is a computer server, basically a bare metal. These two basically means this is a bare metal server, physical server. Sometimes you will log into a server, which is a virtual server, and it will say over here, virtual server. You don't know the difference between bare metal and the virtual. We're going to talk about that down the road. Now, forget about this one. Forget about this one. Now focus on the operating system. Ladies and gentlemen, this tells you that you're using the Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9.0. Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Those of you who took my previous classes, you know what Red Hat is. It's one of the flavor, one of the distribution of the Linux operating system. Go to my recordings on YouTube, visit my channel, subscribe, and don't hit the bell icon. I hate that whenever they say that. Don't subscribe, don't hit the bell icon, just watch the goddamn video. And kernel Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about this part. This is not for us to talk about it right now. And we will also talk about this part later on. Dell R620. Dell R620, ladies and gentlemen, if I were to go over here and I type Dell R620, and if I go to the images, ladies and gentlemen, I can see that it's a server that looks like this right over here. This is a server. Okay. YouTube link, please. Sorry for being, no, you're doing good. You're doing good. It's one of a server that looks like this. It's a one of a server that looks like this. R620. Okay. Right over here. This is the back side of that server. This is the front of that server. This is how the server looks like. If you go to the images, you'll see tons of these images over here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you logged into Linux operating system, which is running on this physical server. Okay. The gentleman that was talking about earlier, how the Gen Z has no relevancy to the servers, wrong. There's a big relevancy to the servers. Anything, any application that you touch today, Chase Bank, American Express, Instagram, it's running on these servers. Somebody is managing the Linux operating system, just like I'm going to teach you how to manage the Linux operating system. Ladies and gentlemen, the time right now is 11 o'clock. I only promised you from 9 to 11. I'm sorry, we did not get done a lot. We did not learn so much because No Child Left Behind Act. I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Those of you who are my international students, you should not be in this session. You should send an email to register at linoob.com. The learning stops over here.
US.
The .us?
Yes.
Okay. .us. Thank you, Shahid Bhai. And now the learning stops over here. That means I'm not going to teach you any more for tonight, but the troubleshooting starts now. Those of you who were having problem logging in, troubleshooting starts now, but questions also start now. Let me see. I think Osad just gave me this link over here. And the link for this YouTube is right over here, ladies and gentlemen. youtube.com/@LinoopTek 5454. And then you'll see my video over here. To understand, along the way, you need to have a one notepad where you basically sort of like have a. Damn, I look so weird over there. IT. Is it me? Is it really weird? Throw at you if you. Anyway, day one, Cloud Essential Training, free 4-week program. Okay, watch this video. It's for almost 2 hours, which was for 4 hours. I cut it down to 2 hours because there's a lot of essential information that you need. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Or you cannot see my screen, as a matter of fact. Let me see over here. Let me share. Let me share my screen over here. So this is the Linoob channel right over here. Let me share this link with you guys. I'm not sure why I'm not able to share the link with you guys. Give me a second. When I send you a chat message. Okay. It will go to everyone now. Go to this YouTube video, watch, and I've got 156 views on this. Watch this thoroughly, and you know, whatever. Don't subscribe. Don't hit the bell icon. I hate that crap. when people say that on YouTube videos. I made sure whenever I create a YouTube channel, I was so sick of hearing this. Don't subscribe. I don't want your subscription. Watch the video, learn, and grow your knowledge. That's all I care about. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this to change your life. I'm doing this to show you something, a different path that nobody knows. These skills that we're teaching you, they don't teach you in school and colleges. That's why there's so much demand and not that many people know, because it's only heart to heart transfer. There's only like boot camps that teach you, or somebody who decides to go off track and teach you. I have 20 years of experience working as a system engineer. For the past 15 years, all I have been doing is training, placing my students, training, placing my students. Once a year, we do a class for Linoob. Once a year, we take all the students, we focus, we teach them, we go hard at them, we discipline them, we beat them up, and then we get them certifications in the industry, and then we find them jobs that are paying 100K salary, and then we leave them alone. Not really leave them alone, continue to guide them and mentor them. All right. All right, so just leave me a one quick session, quick review over here on the Zoom. If you liked what you were learning, if you're confused, if you hate me, I don't care if you love me or not, but if you hate me, I want to know and why. Okay, let's take some questions over here. All right. So usually I have my own terminologies. Usually if you like something, we say beautifly, and beautifly comes out to be BF for short, because I'm a command guy. I do everything with command on Linux. And if you don't like something, you say ugly fly. Beautifly, ugly fly. These are my own terminologies, okay? So whatever you like, and it's absolutely accepted. Because unless I get some ugly flies, I'm not going to improve. Give me a lot of ugly flies so I can continue to improve. And there you go. One kid is already calling me uncle. You know, this is what happens when I tell people I have 25 years of experience and I have been in the United for the last 15 years. They start calling me uncle. No problem. I'm just going to color my beard next time and you'll see. Come out to be a young guy. Okay. All right, beautifly and ugly fly. Come on, keep coming. Register at linoob.us for those of you who are internationally logged in. I don't want you to, you know, have sleepless nights. I want you to sleep. I want you to, okay. Now, questions. Let's take some questions over here. Tola, go ahead and ask question.
Hey, so just a general question here. I usually like to kind of prepare a little bit before a class so I can kind of have an idea of what to expect, and also just to like brush up on the topic for a little bit. I mean, just brush up on the topic so that I'm, you know, following along just fine. So I was curious if it's possible at the end of the class, maybe you can give us a general expectation without like telling us every single thing you plan on teaching us. That way, perhaps we can kind of, you know, just like take initiative to kind of get an idea of what we can expect so that we're following along and we're not like slowing down the class, if that's possible.
Great job, Tola. Thank you so much for reminding me. I am going to teach you Red Hat Linux Essentials. That would include commands, to navigate file system. Also, which would include these are some of the commands: ls, pwd, mkdir. I'm going into great depth. I don't know to what extent I'm going to teach you.
Okay.
So, honestly speaking, very difficult because look, a simple thing is logging into the system. It took us 40 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
Very difficult for me. I'm going to teach you some system commands.
like change? Are we gonna like learn anything about like changing ownership or like root?
Honestly speaking, I would love to teach you a lot, but it all depends on how fast you guys are learning. Okay. So system commands, navigation commands. Then I'm going to teach you on how to install the OS.
Okay.
Okay. So this itself is a great deal. This itself is a great deal. If you, today you learn two commands, hostname CTL.
Right.
Not only the command, you understood what it is, right? And you learned the uptime command. I'm also going to teach you basic networking. Basic networking on Linux. IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, and all of those things. And then I'm going to talk about virtualization. VMware. And little bit about introduction to cloud, which is AWS. Very difficult for me to tell you to what extent we're going to go because it all depends on how much you guys can understand, because most of you guys do not have the background in IT. These terms are very foreign terms to you guys, so I gotta slow down and break down every single thing. Okay, Tola? Thank you, appreciate that. Let me go to Danielle. Danielle, go ahead, ask your question. If somebody has any login issues,
For my question, you were saying that. Yep.
I'm sorry, give me 1 second, Danielle.
All good.
If you don't have any more questions and you don't need help, you can leave. Go. The class is over at 11. You can, if you have questions that you want to get help, you stay here. Okay. Now, go ahead, Daniel. You have a question?
You were saying that once we log in, we can type hostname CT1.
TTL.
CTL.
TTL. We were typing that command. Let me show you over there.
Understood. I got it now. All good.
Yeah. Right here, hostname CTL. Take a look at this.
Yes. Yep.
Hostname CTL. That means, hey, give me information about my system. And then I broke it down, all of these things.
Yes. The 1 and the L look very similar.
What's that?
The number 1. I was typing hostname CT1 and it wasn't working. That's
Oh, okay. CTL. CTL.
Yes. Okay. I'm good. Thank you.
You can always ask question to the panelist.
Understood. Yep.
Yeah. Always ask question. Type your question to panelists. They're very quick.
Got you.
Okay. No problem. Let me move to Andal. Andal, you have question? Please go ahead. I give you the microphone.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Andal.
Assalamu alaikum, Asad bhai.
Walaikum assalam. How do you pronounce your name?
Andleep.
Andaleep. I figured that there was something wrong. Andaleep, what's up? What can I do for you?
Asad bhai, I tried to log in. I can log in, but I got a blank page. I cannot write on it. Like the page I can see.
Okay, let's do
Two
this
of
with
yours.
me.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Let's do this with me. I'm going to share my screen over here. And I'm going to open up my browser over here. And I'm going to go to this Wiki page over here. I'm going to close this one. And this is where you're first supposed to come on the leap, right?
Okay. Yeah.
When you come to this one, linoob.ddns.net colon 5000.
Yeah.
Did you create your account?
Yeah, I could do.
Okay,
Did.
but this is what I'm going to do, Andaleep.
Okay.
If you don't mind, if I can have your username.
Yeah. It's ANG.
ENG.
AND.
So ENGAND.
Oh, sorry. ANDE123.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have ANDE123.
Yeah.
Can I ask you for your password?
Yeah, A-N-A-Y-A-A-I-M-A.
ANYA. Why do you guys come up with these complicated passwords?
Uh-oh. I can remember this password, so
Okay,
that's
wait,
the name of my
wait,
god.
wait, wait, wait. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new account for you. I'm
Okay.
gonna say ANDLEE
B.
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 Yeah, B. Sorry, B.
Yeah, that's my name.
Yeah, and then I'm going to say password is ABC123
Okay.
and hit enter. Account has been created. I'm gonna go over here and I am going to close this one out. And I'm going to create another page over here. And now ANDLEEB
Yes.
ABC123. And look, I'm logged in.
I can try this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Use this link, okay?
Yes. ABC one
ABC123.
ABC 1 2 3.
ABC123 all lowercase. When you type, you're not gonna be able to see that. Just
Yeah.
type ABC123 and hit enter.
No, I cannot log in. I got just a blank screen.
Okay, one
Yeah.
time I'm gonna try this. Here, look. I'm gonna take this page one more time. I'm gonna come over here. Come with me. Go to this page. Go to this page.
Yes.
You're there now? It's
Yeah.
asking for username.
No, I didn't get this type of page.
Oh, it's not
Yeah.
loading for you, that page.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to just click on this link I'm gonna give you right now. Wait.
Okay.
You need to click on this. I think you're not typing the right path. Click on this link that I sent you. I sent to everybody. Just click on it and see, it comes over here.
No, I get the same page.
You have enter your username.
No.
It's opening up a website somewhere for you.
Yeah, but I get the same, like there is a, I cannot explain, there is a blank page.
It is, does it say enter your username?
No, it doesn't say.
Let me see 1 second over here.
Let me do this.
Okay. I don't know if somebody can help you with this, but it's very. Okay.
Yeah.
I think you're having problem with your something is wrong with your machine. How about this? How about this? Go to start menu and type CMD.
Start menu. CMD?
Yeah, CMD, and you see this command prompt over there?
Yeah, command prompt.
Yeah, click on this. You got this?
Yeah.
You got
I
this
got it.
screen?
Yeah.
Type SSH.
SSH.
Now, first of all, type this PING ping
PING ping.
space
Linoop.
Linoop.ddns.net. This is troubleshooting, folks. We're doing troubleshooting now. Hit enter.
Yes.
You getting reply just like this?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, that means the connection between your machine and our server is perfectly fine.
Okay.
Now I want you to type this command SSH
SSH.
space
Yeah. Space.
ANDLEEB and leave.
Yes.
There's no space. @
Yes. Linoop.
Linooop.ddns.net. Make sure it's typed exactly as is.
Hit enter.
Make sure there's only one space over here. There is no
Yeah.
space in this.
No. Yeah.
Hit enter. Asking for password?
The
Yeah, say yes.
no.
Say yes. Type yes.
Type yes.
Yes.
Are you sure you want to
Yes.
continue connecting?
Yes, type yes.
Warning permanently added
Yes.
Linoop. Yes.
Fine. Now it's asking you for password.
Okay. I have
Type ABC123. Remember, it's not going to show you on your screen, but type
yeah.
that. Yeah?
Yeah.
You're logged in right now. You got dollar
Yeah.
sign?
Yes, I got $sign.
This is another way to log in.
Oh.
Okay.
Command.
Now
CS.
type uptime over here. We have 56 users logged in.
Yes.
Now type host name CTL, and you got some information about your system over here.
Okay.
Okay, great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now you want to exit and delete, you're going to have to
Okay.
type exit over here.
Exit. Okay. Okay.
That's it. You want to come back again, use the arrow up key. This command will come back.
Okay.
And you can hit enter and type ABC123.
Okay. Thank you so much, Asad.
No problem. Write down this command somewhere. You're always going to use this command. So the step is CMD, hit enter, and type this command SSH space and
CMP.
CMD. C command CMD.
Okay.
And delete at linoopt.ddns.net. Hit enter, password ABC123. Everybody that's here, they can log in. They can always log in like this.
Yeah.
All right. Good learning for you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Andreep, thank you so much for this amazing
Thank-
opportunity for
yes,
everybody
thank
else
you.
to pick up. Okay. Great job.
Thank you so much, Asad.
No problem, Bacha. Okay. Bushra. Go ahead, Bushra. Bushra, you have a question? Bushra. Bushra is a shy girl. She will never ask a question. She accidentally raised her hand. Right, Bushra? No, she's not going to talk. I told you. All right, Harun Bajwa, go ahead. Harun, you have a microphone.
Hello.
Yes, hi.
Assalamu alaikum, Asad bhai.
Walaikum assalam. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you.
So I wanted to ask, thank you so much for like hosting and getting to teach us all with the Linux OS program and everything. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
My question is for you, since that now we're a little exposed to this, I was wondering, I even asked the panelists and I wanted to get your opinion. Um, if there's anything that you would recommend for us for now to like explore and with like the Linux, like if like there are certain like basic commands that you recommend.
Good question, Harun. What you can do is you can literally go to Gemini, Google, and say, hey, Gemini, I am very new to learning Red Hat Linux. I have login to the system and I have access to bash shell with the $ prompt. I'm just explaining Gemini, right? Prompt. Now, teach me some cool stuff or commands to run on Red Hat server. Commands that will help me to learn Linux. And look, and now it's teaching you, the fundamental commands. Bushra, hold on, okay? pwd, ls, and just go ahead and type these commands and learn about these commands. Okay? If you want to explore, you have access to the system, and now go ahead and learn. And how about some cool commands? Something fun if you want to do. But you're not gonna get too much fun